Actually, you know what? I'll tell you a story. There's a parable about the seeds that are sown in the Bible. I don't even know which part it is, but we just read it.
He's preaching it this Sunday.
He just preached it last Sunday.
He's preaching it this whole month.
The parable of the...
Summer.
Shut up! This is a totally true story. When I get into something, I get in 150 feet deep. If I start fishing, I don't buy one cheap pole. I research every pole and usually end up with 3 different ones and 2 different reels and every book on fish in the ocean. And I did the same with religions. I lived in an ashram for several weeks, studied Wicca, and went to sweat lodges, a shamanistic sweat lodge, did tarot cards, had more than one Ouija board. I was always seeking a place that felt like home because I was searching, I think. I wanted to feel like I fit in, and I was desperate for it.
What if there was no light?
I decided that the purpose of life was experience, and the purpose of experience was empathy. So I set out on a mission to experience everything. I mean, positive and negative. A Baptist church that I wandered into, a tattoo parlor, a Klan rally, a Black Panthers meeting. I would date boys of any race. I would date girls because I wanted to feel loved and needed. I have allowed myself to be hurt by people, and when other people wouldn't hurt me, I hurt myself. I was what they call a cutter, and I did every drug I could get my hands on. I mean, literally drugs that they were testing at the college on a chemistry level, I would do. Anything I could find, I would delve into. We were working together. He was in customer service and I was in sales, and he sent me an email and I wrote him back, and his response made me laugh out loud, and corporate emails aren't supposed to do that, so I had to find out who he was. We started talking about religion, and I told him the travels that I had taken through religions, through Wicca and shamanism and hatha yoga. But I did ask him if he knew where a church was that I think I said caters to the freaks of Los Angeles. When I finally found my way to the urban service and ended up sitting on the floor and listening to Chip Anderson talk about how when you're cut off from your source, you die. When your soul is disconnected from its source, from its maker, from its roots, it begins to wither as well. And it just made sense, man. I wanted to get connected to this church so that I could get connected to my source, so my soul would stop dying. I was going to go to launch and take the Myers-Briggs test and find out more about me. I met this trio of blonde sorority girls. The spunkiest of the 3 pulled me aside and said, "Why do you think Jesus freaks you out?" I said, "I have abandonment issues. Starting with my father, going through every pet animal I've ever had that's died, every boyfriend that's broken up with me. How can I worship a guy on a cross, dying, abandoning the people who believed in him and who followed him?" And she looked at me with honest sorrow, empathetic sorrow. And she said, "I think you should read John 14. So that night I went home and I got my brand new Bible. Each time I read it, I saw my name in between the letters. And I know that sounds absolutely nuts, but I heard Jesus' voice saying, "McCall, you know my Father. Now, McCall, get to know me, because I am the way." And I didn't know what else to do, so I got on my knees because I was almost embarrassed. And right before you die, your life is supposed to flash before your eyes. Well, I think right before you're saved, your death flashes before your eyes, because I saw every boy I'd slept with. I saw every drug I had taken, every lie I had told. And I turned to God, thinking he's a fool for wanting me. And almost challenging him, I said, fine. You think you can do something with me? You think that one man's garbage is another man's trash? Or is another man's treasure? I'll be your treasure. Use it. Use me. I've been used by plenty of people. I can handle it. And I still kind of had this tough exterior, but I, as I am now, bawled my little eyes out. And he accepted it. There's a passage in Joel that says, I will repair what the stripping locusts ate away. I thought that God would heal my wounds, but I would have these ugly scars that nobody would be able to look past. And it's so much more than that. God doesn't just heal them, He grafts new skin and better skin on top of the wounds. So now any of the things I've gone through have purpose, that I can share them with somebody else, that I can relate to another human being and share with them a hope and a love that God loved me enough to share with me.